Hey, Rich. You're supposed to have the newspaper and radio today. Are you still gonna do it or do you want somebody else to?
I'm gonna try to do one by county. 'Cause
You want me to?
That means more to me.
No, that was cool. Yeah, this is,
I mean, this is good too, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see the county one. Which wouldn't take much, I think.
That would be great if you would.
Yeah, I'll cover.
I'll have her send me the
I owe you.
county's stuff.
Means I gotta take notes today.
You're not alone.
71%.
so this isn't good that we're seeing.
I think it's okay. I mean, it's
Not happy about that.
With that.
940 is the
Rural
lowest
residents.
and they're at 853, so I
Oh,
mean,
I read that.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I just.
Well, mine
yeah, I
did.
didn't
I mean, actually,
county,
most of our towns are good. You know.
Yeah.
You guys wanna join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning.
Get her?
Thanks, Dalton. All right, go ahead and call this meeting to order. I need approval of the agenda. Is there any deletions, corrections, or additions?
I have them.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of Monday, August 8th, 2022 minutes.
I thought they read well. There are no corrections to the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve those.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right. First item on the agenda is the CDBG Down Payment Assistance Program. Claim number 3. This is their third disbursement, is that correct?
In the new year, yes.
Was this for the final then for the whole program? Isn't that? I think it adds up to $12, don't it? Or maybe I might be wrong.
Contract amount is 211,500.
Oh, okay, then I'm wrong. Excuse me.
Expended. Yeah, they got a little bit left here. Looks like.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the claim number 3 for $42,215.
I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. The second one is authorized chair to sign satisfaction of mortgage, and I don't know if Courtney had time to explain this to everybody, but she did to me, so we had approved. So when we approve things like this and people buy, they have to hold on to that home for a certain amount of time, and if they don't, then you have to pay back the funding you received. So what Courtney explained is that this money technically isn't the county's, but we're gonna hold on to it for a certain amount of time. Is that correct, Courtney?
Yeah, and then the county can decide at that time. You could keep it, but majority of counties, she said, will give it back to Region 12 to do either continuation of this type of program or something else. So when the time period is done, I'm sure they'll be getting hold of us. And
So we could put it back in the program to do this some more.
I'm not sure it'll be this exact program, but it would be something like this. Because this program at some point will be done
Yeah.
and they aren't doing it again. So it may be a program similar to this. So, but yeah, the board will just need to decide when that time comes, what you want to do.
But
with
we
it.
would be able to put it back within Carroll County. Right?
Correct.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
I'd make a motion that we authorize the Chairman, find out. At satisfaction of mortgage.
No, second.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is acknowledge receipt of recapture of funds.
So we did receive a check. $11,536, so we'll put that in the general fund. It'll sit there until the time has come to make a decision on where to put it. She said in her letter that many counties reinvest the funds to benefit LMI housing. So
I'll make a motion that we can deposit check into general funds for $11,536.
I will second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
And I would also, while we're on the subject, I would agree that we should put it back into LMI funds some point in time.
All right, any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2 is human trafficking proclamation. This is just a letter of support from Carroll County that we support, learn something, do something in this effort. And I think Courtney drafted up a letter.
I'll just use that template you gave me and change the name.
Does it require signatures?
Just by the chair.
So would you like a motion to approve?
Yeah, just approve the official proclamation.
I'll make a motion that the chair is authorized to sign the official proclamation by Carroll County Board of Supervisors for human trafficking.
I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Third item is to,
Were we gonna do the news release too or not? That came with it?
the attachment that came in that email.
Yeah. Are we just gonna do the proclamation?
That's up to
You know what, I
board.
guess basically you're gonna do the thing today. And you discuss,
Just
it.
announce it.
That's kind of,
Yeah, I just, yeah, I was just
I
wondering,
let's not go to Charlie.
I just wonder if we shouldn't be reading it too. You know, right now.
Would you like me to read it?
I don't think it'd be a bad idea.
No.
I mean, when we make a proclamation like that, we should
Okay.
probably read it.
Okay. Proclamation states, whereas human trafficking is a widespread crime and devastating to society as a whole, and whereas human trafficking is not restricted to any group of people, but crosses racial, educational, gender, age, and economic barriers. And whereas the crime of human trafficking violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity. And whereas only a coordinated statewide effort will prevent this vicious crime. And whereas the Iowa Safe at Home program provides address of confidentiality to approximately 1,200 participants in 77 counties, which allows these survivors to live active lives within their society. And whereas the Iowa Business Against Trafficking is a statewide initiative by the Iowa Secretary of State's office, which encourages businesses, agencies, and other entities to learn something and do something to help human trafficking in Iowa. Now and therefore be it resolved that Carroll County Board of Supervisors is taking a stand against human trafficking in our county by joining Iowa Businesses Against Trafficking.
Back up. You said help human trafficking should be helped and you dropped the end.
Oh, I
Just so
didn't-
somebody was
I
really,
didn't see it.
Help end.
yeah, somebody does hear that and you're like, we're not helping human trafficking, we're a help end.
Thanks for reading it.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
And I didn't want to be smart, but if somebody was
No,
paying
good
attention, it says
We're not helping.
totally opposite of what we're
Definitely not
after.
helping. All right,
Like I said, if you're gonna do the news or thing, that'd be good enough for a news release, I think.
all right, item number 3 is to approve. Plats.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plat for Neil Black.
I will second that.
Right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is Region 12 Regional Housing Authority Board of Directors appointment. Courtney received a letter requesting the Carroll County Board of Supervisors to take action to appoint or reappoint a Carroll County representative to the Region 12 Housing Authority of Board of Directors. And they are recommending. What's the name of it?
Jim Knott,
Jim Knott.
he's been on there forever. And he's still willing to do it. This seems like we just did this.
We do it
But every year, but
Yeah.
it just keeps rolling around so fast. I will make a motion that we reappoint Jim Knott.
I'll second that motion.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. The next item on the agenda is to review request for purchase of county property. I received an email this past week and I wanted the board to take a look at it. It's located in Maple River. It's 0.15 acres. So I'm just here open for discussion, and if there's certain steps we want to take forward. If we're interested, if not, I can reply back and just say no. Interested at this time.
I was asking Courtney, maybe you guys have more history, but has the county, are we in the practice of selling, I don't want to say unused property, but of putting it back on the tax roll?
we have done that in the
Yeah,
past on
okay.
certain projects. There's a procedure you gotta go through and whatever we do, we have to get John involved in this. But normally you have.
County
to set
Attorney
up-
John Warden.
Yes, you have to set up a public hearing and then usually you take a bid from them and if it's satisfactory, then you have to allow other public to bid on it also. So
A sealed
sometimes,
bid process.
or sometimes you have an auction after, we've had that too. where They actually have an auction.
Like the county farm.
Well, no, this would be an auction that we would run, the board would run up there. So somebody come in and they start bidding against each other.
The old library.
We
would be an
originally,
example of that.
Okay.
And so. Read telephone.
yeah, when Breeder Telephone bought that over there, that was done that way. That was one I was thinking.
I mean, there's no potential that the cemetery would expand that direction, would it? I mean, it doesn't look like it because of the tree
Well, I
line.
mean, if they would, then they have an option. I guess, Gene, I was asking Courtney about it. When you look at the map, that's an extension of that road. If Maple River were to ever expand, you wouldn't want to sell something that and then the right of ways with it. So I don't know, I guess I think we need to talk to Zach for one thing and make sure that he's okay with that.
And I agree with that. And it is an extension of the road, and the reason we stuck that in there so that so this property, they could get that in there before this property became part of it, so they had the option at that time. I'm sure that's what it was. And it just goes back to that line that will square everything up. I don't see any problem with it. But I think Dean makes a good point. We should talk to Zach, being as it is part of the secondary roads. We need to talk to him, I think. And then if we do that, we have to go start through the process of it. I don't think there's no big hurry on this.
So is there an advantage to getting rid of it or an advantage to keeping it? Other than if we get rid of it, it goes on the tax rolls or
That'd be the
whatever.
I mean,
Well, right now, one of the neighbors is maintaining.
I was just
that
gonna say who
property.
maintains it.
Yeah.
I think the individual that wants to buy this.
Okay.
Well, what I'll do is I'll reach out to Zach and have a conversation with them and then we'll go from there. I'll bring it back.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, though, that we go to Zach first.
I'll go to Zach before we do anything with John Warren, just because if Zach says no, then we're just gonna end it. All right. Rich, do you like that idea?
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Okay. All right, item number 6 on the agenda is manure management annual updates. Brian Schrader Homes, section 21, Arcadia Township, updated soil samples and P indexes. Clark Family Farms of Iowa, section 20, Union Township, no changes. Bladen Pork, section 17, Union Township, no changes. Joe Danner, section 22, Glidden Township, no changes. Glenn Eichman, section 25 of Ewald Township, changed crop rotation or optimum yields. And the civil, is that right? Sanibel site, section 32, Arcadia Township, no changes. And going to committee reports. Anybody want to go first?
I will. Last week I had landfill meeting on Tuesday morning. And this week, Wednesday, we're going to be here for the SEH review of drawings. And Thursday I have decategorization meeting.
I should go next. Monday, I did the paper and radio for last week. Tuesday, I was at Rob Sam's thing down at the South Side
Ditto.
Park. And Thursday, I participated on the Highway 30 Zoom meeting, which really didn't amount to too much, period. It's probably one of the shorter meetings we ever had, 19 minutes. And then this week, Tuesday, I've got a CADC meeting. And Wednesday is with the SEH. And supposedly Friday, I have a Yes Center board meeting. Then Thursday, I've been invited along on a tour for Coon Rapids and Manning. I haven't decided on that yet. So that's my week.
I can go next. Last week I had the Carroll Conservation Board meeting on Monday night. It's like, there was a lot of agenda items, but most of them were updates because they didn't have a meeting in July. The first thing on the agenda was an update on REAP plants. Coon Rapids is the only entity in Carroll County that has applied for REAP this year for rehabilitation of their trail. The cost of the trail is update is $315,000 and they're eligible for $75,000. Secondary Roads has an historic bridge replacement coming up. So they discussed, whether or not they would want to use that bridge or not. So it really didn't amount to anything. The Great Western Park gun range improvements. Scott Mills family from Manning. In memory of their dad, they wanted to upgrade the gun range down there. So they fixed up the building, put a new roof on it, and painted it. And I haven't been down there to look at it, but it sounds like it's pretty nice. And they did all the work and provided all the expenses for that. Trail project update. The letting for the project will be October 18th. They missed the July letting simply because of DOT federal agreement delays.
So lettings only go out every 3 months.
So when are they going to let it?
October 18th. So the project will begin in 2023. They agreed to lease the Hobbs ground again along the river. Nothing changed there. The 71 acres at $35 an acre. No, there'd be no increases. I guess the only other real discussion was about the docks on the Great Western Park Pond. They would like to put a third one in. First two were donated, and there's a request by that person to put a third one in.
By pocket. Oh,
And so, you know, I think they got 5,000. I think they're like $15,000 for those docks. So they're trying to come up, or they're going to go to the Timmerman Trust. Maybe they can get a little bit of help there too. So that was it for that. Attended the Rob Sand update for the state auditor. And that was it for the week. This week, I've got the SEH meeting.
I can go. Last week I had Wesco. Everything's going really good over there. We did go into closed session to discuss the director's pay increase and his assistant's pay increase. Otherwise, we approve checks and things like that. If you guys want to take a look at it, you can. Then I also did go down to Des Moines for the 2023 legislative recommendations. Here's, I don't know if you guys got a email out of all the recommendations that were sent in. So the board discussed all these recommendations, decided which ones should even potentially go on and not go on, and so on and so forth. You guys will receive an updated, improved list of things that we did decide to, that should be a priority for Iowa's.
this is what ISAC's gonna push
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. And not, maybe not necessarily push forward, but get behind if somebody, if one of the priorities does get any limelight.
Well, don't they usually put this in and then it gets voted on?
Yep.
by the whole group?
Yep, they'll put it all together and then, but if you guys wanna breeze through it, we can talk about it after too. There are some that had some merit and some of it that just wasn't really a big priority. This next week, I have the newspaper and radio. I have the daycare this evening, and then Wednesday I have SCH. Are you guys coming in for SCH or Zooming?
I'm gonna come in. I'm coming in.
I think I'll probably come in.
Because I think they're Zooming, correct?
Mhm.
And Rich?
All right, last Thursday, had Region 12 Development Corporation. Nothing earth shattering there. We did approve the last IRP3 loan amount, and we closed that out. That was for Lucky Lanes in Denison. That did get approved. That was all I had last week. Tomorrow I'm supposed to have CADC, most likely will not be there. Wednesday I probably will Zoom the SEH meeting. I also have a WIWD meeting that day too, so later in the at 1 o'clock, so we'll see how the SEH meeting goes. Other than that, that's it for me.
Courtney?
Next week we'll have a bill day. 9 o'clock, we'll have the hearing for St. Anthony on those tax exempt bonds. The gal's name is escaping me right now, but we'll be getting an update from the Main Street project in Coon Rapids. Is it Katie?
Katie.
Katie. No requesting for funding, just wanted to give the board an update on what's going on. And then possibly the health insurance meeting after the board meeting.
Yeah. That's what we try to get going again.
Ben or Dalton, is anything online?
No comments online.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.